We were a Freemasonry and we went to Mars. If you know who we were away, we saw Fremont. We went out to see the moon more than one time and again. And then we went to Mars M. Mars M is a different world. It's not exactly like our world. You may have guessed it. You see, there weren't anyone there. We naturally went there on our own to see a way, and this is who we saw when we see. At this point in time, we should know exactly who we see. We are the ones who would man the ship from this point forward. We want you to know that we see who we were. That was exactly how we saw. We want everyone to know that we were quite bereft. We cannot go there and see a way, and then we see this way and we don't see. And now we don't see a way. So, to this, we aren't allowed to go anywhere. Now that this has occurred there, that we don't see it because we can't see a way, we must not ever see anything ever at all, and this is what we see. We were the ones who went to Camellia, and we went there. And everyone here knows that we can't see. So naturally, someone cooks up a plot because it takes 20 years, and this way, by the end, it has again and again become this way. Our guy that we went there with, he says, "Don't see a way," and they naturally knew right away to be unreliable. So what happens is, now that we are doing this, we think about what we should be doing. I don't know how to tell you this very much, but we've seen this before, and most of the people we know, we see, think that this is not a good way, and this is a bad way to see it. But we know you can get around something if you are just a bum. We have seen this time and time again, that if someone is constantly struggling and jacking off and slacking, that they somehow are able to get ahead to it. The point I am making is that there are not anyone here that we see as a good worker. And now that we are not doing a good job, and we are dragging our heels to everything we see, it has become among us. And if you know what this is exactly what we had. The reasons that we are doing this now are non-descriptive. He said, "Don't see a way." And that naturally means just do a shit-ass job, half-assed, so you have to redo it. We know exactly what this is, and we are doing it that way to them. See it. They are not working at all, and we see that. And this is the point he is trying to make. They should be doing it, and he gets it. He gets that they are the ones who are supposed to be doing this, and that at the end of the day, they had to lead out to Freemasonry because they are just that big of a female. We see it. We know exactly who they were, and that's what the issue is. I can't tell you how many times I've gone over these diagrams, and I just go, why didn't we see it? So here's what happens, basically. There's a series of murders, and none of them are us, and we get it, like right away. They are going to cull this thing eventually. And now we're caught in the middle of it. To they. So, how do we put this into terminology that makes sense? When we go there, we can't see. Naturally, so now that there's a series of murders, we can't see a way. So, the only thing we can do is just sit. And we are not able to sit now. So, the whole thing is, our kids are going to grow up bereft of incomes. And we know it because of the way this world works. They are going to scum around looking for any job, and they're not going to be good jobs, and they're going to be slaves. And that's how they work. The whole point of us doing these things is to get ahead by a hand and a foot. We know what this means, and they know that this is exactly how it works. Unfortunately, many Freemasons are not being paid any longer, and this is because of World War II in Geneva. And they do know what this is, and they can't get it. They can't figure out why this doesn't work anymore, and this is the exact reason we can't see a way when we see. Now, naturally, when we see, this is some other side project to it that we saw. We are not allowed to go to anything anymore because we see it. But when we do this, we can make a buck and then another. And that's the entire point of why we do it. So, now here, we will not ever get what these are. They are not the ones we were, okay? This is, if you can follow what we've been doing, they have to be the ones that we were. You must understand this. They are going to switch out our unit. They're going to say they are us. So now we have to very much watch our asses. And we have to go to it. And that's the entire point, is that now they have shots at us. Eventually, they said they will pick us off one by one. And once one of us is gone, we will double our resources and back up and take extra time doing everything. And this is what they expect, because they will have something ready for us. And so most of us just do not attend any longer. The whole point is that we say that it's already done and we don't have to see it. They cannot tell us it's not because they can't see it. So we have them in a foothold, and they know that this is what it is. So we make this record to make it obvious what's going on. And you know what? They don't see it. And that's the entire point of what they were doing to it. If you have ever been to it, you would know that this place is not any good, and we don't have anything to do with it. So most of the time we go, and half of the time there's not a problem. And everybody knows that as soon as there's an issue or a difficulty, we're going to stop having to deal with them very well anymore. And it's going to become a dog eat dog or a loser get lost sort of a situation. This happened before, one time in Germany and one time in Soviet Russia steppes, and that's what that is. If you have any idea what we see when we go back to here and there, we use a ship that has not ever been listed, and we aren't allowed to see it, the Scheimer, and that's what they call it now. It's just that it's a stupid name that no one can see it, and so it has that name. People will go, haha, that's clever, and they know it's not. And they look at the ship, and it's okay, and we don't really see any way, but it doesn't seem like it's altogether high quality. Well, when we went to it, we knew that this way alone, is how we get there. And we thought about it, and we said, why don't we copy it? And someone said, if we do that, they'll flip. They will get rid of us. And he's like, yeah, maybe that's the entire point, is that this is something they expect us to do. So we're counting every single card when we talk in secret, which we must do now because we see the way we see. So I've been counting everything they count too. And it's become to the point where I count what I count. And after I do all these things, and it's too many things. And I have a checklist, and I don't like having a checklist, and it's not properly encoded to my liking. And therefore, we're all a nutsack, and this is the nutsackery we saw that sees us. Going through life leads to many changes, and we don't see. The word is the greatest word in ancient Roman for an idiot that has a tendency, something like that. Well, I guess you don't understand what I'm talking about, and I knew that. But if you did, you would know exactly what we were seeing here. I wanted someone to come here to see what we were, and he said no. And I know exactly what that is. They won't ever be the way we were. I had to them many times, why don't you come here and see what we see here? And he says, no, I'm not ever going to see that crap. And we know this, we know that he saw, and we know that that is something he won't go to see because then he can't see the way he sees it. And we know that this is something we won't ever be paid by now. We want someone to look at it. I swear on everything that's holy, my man, people around here are not saying like they were. they used to be okay and sorted, and now they're just kind of strung out. And everyone's like, what are they doing, meth up here now? Because they don't seem the way they seem. It's because there were 2 or 3 murders back there, and they just go, oh, well, it's me now, I've done it. And we don't see anything, and we're standing around. And he goes, yeah, I mean, they're not going to attack us unless we're alone or with one other, because that's the only way they could possibly do it here, because we actually stand in numbers sometimes when we're around. We didn't like what they were up to out there, and they said, okay, so we see this way, we go there one time and everything looks hunky-dory and this is nothing we see. We go, okay. And we went there like 18 more times and no one was there. And then we went back and we're like, okay, well look, it's not who we were. So every time we started doing these things we did up there, nobody wanted us to be there anymore. And when we went there for like 6 more times, this means he says, I see you, but I don't see this one exact way. Standing there at the edge of the place we go to now, we were looking at it for a long time, and they said, we don't see you. And we were looking at it, and we said, if they don't come up here and take a look at this thing, what are we going to do? And he said, don't come here. And they knew exactly what it was when you don't see it. You can't see any of those one things we see. And that was exactly what they saw, and he knew what it was. Every single time we go there to see what they are looking at us for murders. So it has become, which one of us will it be that disappears? Because suddenly someone feels like maybe he's being watched a little bit too closely, and this is where it begins. And they all know that this is how it started in Germany and the Russian steppes. If you want to know anything more about it, we don't care anymore. We're trying not to be like we see it at all. One of the guys said he got into a scuffle or a fist fight, but it seemed very natural of an encounter. That seems okay with everyone else we see, and we said, okay, well, I mean, that's bound to happen eventually. And someone said it's usually not like that at all, and he said it's a little bit unusual. And they said the same exact thing, that, you know, it's pretty unusual, you shouldn't be seeing that. And they know someone up there is a nutsack, and he might have killed some people. So now they're looking at the guy he got into a fist fight with, and we know it's not, because he is an idiot, the way idiots are. I don't know how to tell you this, but maybe someone knew how to set that guy on that guy to make it like that. That's pretty much what I've come up to, is there might be a puppet master, and these are puppets with strings we just can't see. I thought about it for a long time. Maybe this is some sort of endurance match, and this is how they decide who is going to be paid at the end of it. I thought about this for a long time, and I go, you know what? Maybe this has something to do with the Ark, and us actually being sons of clones and things like that. And then I said, you know what? Whatever it is, I'm going to be the one at the end, because I am not as stupid as these dumb motherfuckers. And me and this one other guy, we already know it's just us. So we've been doing this for way too long, and now we don't even want to know one another, because we see it this way. So we have basically gone into this 2 standing tower sort of a situation. And now we only go like once or twice a year to a decade to see it. And he knows it's going to be the exact time we go there and something will be up. It's going to catch fire or something like that, and we know this is what's going to happen. So it basically becomes to the point where, what do I carry with me? What am I on? Does my lunchbox have 3 more magazines? The things that we see when we see these waves is sometimes it can be an overwhelming force which we had not predicted. And this is exactly what happened in the Russian steppe. Up there was a guy that always went around and he would pick a fight and they ignored it, and he was a nerd, and all of a sudden he came back with 50 guys and they were unprepared for it at all. And this is not that. So that's Dead Space 1. The murder ship, murder planet. They can't talk about